Serving all of San Diego, this is your Fox 5 News.
IRS enforcement is up in San Diego, stepping up collections by hiring 100 new people to collect and audit. Attorney Ronson Shamoun is here with more on how you can protect yourself and your finances. Good morning and thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Before we talk a little bit about how people can protect themselves, what's going on with the 100 hiring of new agents?
Well, with the government business being down, the government needs revenue, so they're hiring. The state and federal agencies have hired revenue officers who are out there to collect debt, past due balances, and auditors to go out and reassess to get more revenue for the state and federal government.
Is this unusual?
Well, they need money right now with this bad economic time. Businesses are not making as much money as they used to. So with the government getting less revenue and spending up with the federal government, this is the way to collect money without, politically raising taxes, going after back taxes or auditing people to reassess. Maybe they've underreported or overstated some deductions to get some more revenue.
Okay, who's this going to affect exactly? Are there people that are watching what they have to be owing some type of tax from the past years, or they could possibly audit? Who exactly is this going to affect?
Well, for audits, it could be anybody. Audits are up dramatically, so anybody could be randomly audited. There is a way for them to screen people that are subject to audit higher than others. People who make a lot of charitable contributions or a lot of unreimbursed business expenses could raise a red flag to be audited. But anybody who has a back liability or hasn't filed taxes is subject to enforcement action. So anybody who owes past liabilities.
Does it matter how much you owe? I mean, if you owe a few $100s, do they still come in?
Oh, on a few $100s, no. But in the thousands of dollars, it could be $20,000, $10,000, and they'll send an agent to go knock on your door and collect from you.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about that for a moment. Because when I heard about this yesterday, I was like, really? They're going to, you might get a knock on your door from one of these agents. So how is that going to work? They'll just show up, knock? And what are they going to say?
They'll want to get information from you. They'll want to know where they'll usually know where you work. If you're self-employed, they'll garnish your wages. They'll levy your bank account. They will contact individuals that owe you money and seize that money. If you're a business, they will attempt to shut you down if you incur more payroll taxes. So they can be very aggressive.
And in just a minute, so hang on, because I want to talk about what you should do in that situation. You being an attorney, you probably have some advice to offer, but not even the elderly is protected from it. They're going after everybody, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some cases where there's somebody on Social Security being garnished, and they're that ruthless these days.
When you're talking about garnishing, though, that's really what they can do at the end of the day, right?
Yeah,
if they come and you don't have the money to give them, what are they going to do? Let's say you're living on Social Security, they could garnish your Social Security, meaning they could seize a portion of your monthly check. If you work for a company, they could garnish your paycheck. Your bank account, they could basically go in and take everything out of your bank account. If you're a small business and you have accounts receivable where you're not getting a paycheck, they could go after the people that owe you money and force them to give the IRS the money or the state taxing authorities versus you collecting it yourself. We should point out that obviously if anybody owes taxes or any of this stuff, I mean, obviously at some point it was money that is supposed to be owed to the government, so we don't want to say like how you should avoid doing that, because there are steps and procedures that we're supposed to all follow by. But having said that, if someone does show up to your door and you do owe that, what are things that you can protect yourself at that moment until you're able to figure out what you're supposed to do?
Well, first thing you want to do is always be current on your taxes. If you're a business, file all your tax returns. If you're an individual, file all your returns. A lot of people feel that if they don't have the money to pay taxes, they don't file. So the first thing people should do is be current on their tax filings, whether it's a business or an individual. If you're current on your tax filings, then if you work in good faith with these agents, provide financials, show them that you don't have the ability to pay, they will work with you.
They will?
Yes.
Okay.
But you got to work with them in good faith, you got to be responsive and not avoid them. And the first thing you should do is get current immediately. Go to a tax attorney, a CPA, some certified tax specialist, and get current on your tax filings. That's the first step you should do, because they don't know how much you owe. So by filing, you'll get a number of what you owe, and then they'll work with you.
Are there any other individual rights or protections that we should know about?
Yes, if they do levy you, you do have, it is a constitutional right to protect yourself from any sort of seizures. You have due process rights. You could file an appeal for any sort of levy, which is the act of taken from you. If they file a lien on you, you could appeal that as well. So you do have rights with the government.
Okay, well, Attorney Ronson Shamoun, thank you for coming in and sharing this information with us. I know a lot of people at this time
are having a lot of money trouble. So any
Yes.
information that will help them until we can figure out this whole mess of what's
Right.
happening, greatly appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Very
Have a
nice
good
to
day.
meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Raul, we'll send it over to you.